Hello everybody, this is Pideyo from the 9th Age. Tonight I bring you a battle report from Game 2 in the US division between RH World Building and his Saurian Ancient versus Kelvermore and his Kingdom of Equitaine. Let's start from this patrol with a Damsel, 5 Knight Aspirants, 15 Peasant Bowmen and 6 Knights of the Quest. You can, as always, pause the screen to know more. You've already seen the patrol for the Saurian Ancient with a Coatl, Saurian Warriors, King Braves and 2 Caimans. Now we roll map number 3 with 2 hindering terrains in the north and then impassable and elevation. Kelvermore picks sides, decides to go on the side where the elevation is and has to deploy his entire army. As you can see, we have the aspirants in the south and the Knights of the Quest in the north. Split deployment, it's cavalry, so it makes sense to make an encircling movement. And then the bowmen on the hill with the damsel right behind. Screenshot with the models from Idem. On the other side, Rob deploys the Saurian warriors to the north, the Coatl at the south, and then in the middle the 2 Caimans and the King Braves, and these are his paper miniatures. Now turn 1 for a Kingdom of Equitaine, no charges in the movement phase. The 2 cavalries go a bit around in the circle while the infantry stays put. 6v4 dice. Kelvermore decides to cast Stone Skin on the archers with 5 dice and gets a miscast tribal. Rob decides not to dispel it, to let him suffer, but it's only 1 wound and the Aegis save stats as well. In the shooting phase, the archers manage to put a wound on the Caimans. That's turn 1. For the Saurian Ancients, you see the Coatl zooming to the south and then the 2 infantries moving a bit around. In the magic phase is 4 dice v2. Rob casts Fireball on the cavalry and manages to kill 1. Nothing more happens in the shooting phase, so that's it. We go to turn 2 for the Kingdom of Equitaine. There's no charges. In the movement phase, you see a small movement from the Knights of the Quest above, and then the aspirants move quickly, trying to go past the obstruction. Also, the damsel goes a bit forward ahead. She uses that extra movement to cast something that a stone skin on the archers, but with no effect. And then the archers try to shoot again at the Caimans, but they don't inflict any wound. Turn 2 for the Saurian Ancients. You see that the entire army is moving forward except for the Saurian warriors in the north that are moving backwards by 2 inches. The Skinks and the Coatl are getting out of the potential charge range of the cavalry, out of line of sight. It's 5 dice versus 2 in the magic phase, and Rob tries to cast another Fireball at the Knights, but this time there's no effects. Yes, in the shooting phase again nothing happens. We move to the second half of the game, and here in the charge phase from Equitaine there's no charges. In the movement phase you can see another small movement from the Knights of the Quest in the north. They have moved very little in these first 3 turns, while the aspirants complete the movement now, are looking at the rear line of the entire Saurian army. The archers stay put. The damsel moves to the other side, but the archers remain there on the hill. It's 7 dice v4 in the magic phase that allows the damsel to cast a Master of Earth on the caimans, which had already suffered 1 wound from the shooting in turn 1, and that's enough to cause 2 more wounds and kill half of the caiman units. They pass the panic test though. In the shooting phase, nothing consequential happens, and we go to the turn 3 for the Saurian Ancient, and here you can see that the Skink Braves are going past the damsel, and the caiman is getting into the zone and looking at the Knights of the Quest in the north, giving its flank to the damsel, which, as you can see here, is a bit perplexed. Like, am I that insignificant? I just don't see me going there. Anyway, she had just killed the other caiman, but yeah, anyway, tactics. You can also see here that the Saurian warriors in the north are getting inside the hindrance terrain, getting ready to go towards the center. And as you've seen, the Braves go and try and stop the archers from getting from the hill into the zone. The Coatl also moves in front of the aspirants so that it can stop them from getting into the zone or charging, and so they will be forced to charge the Coatl in the front and then keep going towards north in the deployment zone and be irrelevant. That's it. Then in the magic phase, Rob gets 6 dice before, and he decides to cast another fireball at the aspirant because it's just in front of him. And this is fun because he kills one, and now that means that since Kelvermore removes the one that's closer to the impassable terrain, you can see the teal hand that's removing the model. Now the aspirants are in the flank of the Coatl, and that means that they can get back into the game, which is an ugly thing for Rob. However, Rob gets lucky, and the aspirants fail the panic test, and so they flee away, so it got saved like that. Rob also tries to cast a Flaming Swords, but it gets dispelled. Now we go into, there's no shooting to speak of because the Skinks have marched. We go into the charge phase from the Kingdom of Equitaine. The questing Knights of the Quest, charge into the Cayman, and the archers charge, the bowmen charge into the Skink Braves. You can also see that the damsel gets inside the zone, and before that the aspirants are rallied. In the magic phase, Kelvermore casts Stone Skin on the peasant bowmen to try and help them get into the zone and get rid of the Skink Braves, but in reality it's a 1v1 combat, so bowmen win by 1, but the Skinks pass the test, the cold-blooded test, even if the general was further away. And in the Knights of the Quest combat, they obliterate the Cayman, but the Cayman kills 1 back, but still the Knights can turn around. It's the last turn. Rob decides to charge the Saurian warriors into the Knights of the Quest, and moves the Coatl so that it's in range for discipline for the various combats. In the combat phase, tries to cast Flaming Swords on the Saurian warriors, but it gets dispelled. And when it comes down to combat, we have one archer being killed, and that's enough to put them into flee mode. So that issue is solved. And also the Saurian warriors, they kill 2 Knights of the Quest. They lose 1 in return, but the Knights stick, and so they pass the break test. And so in the end, that's how the game ends. You can see that the aspirants are just rallied but far away, the peasants are running, and so in the end it's 2 units for the Saurian Ancients, the Skinks and the Saurian warriors versus the 1 Knights of the Quest for Equitaine, and that's how the game ends. See you next time.